I was brought up in a Christian home, so I've had a beautiful background with a happy family, and I've got to know a lot about the Lord over the years, but really knowing Him personally, I think that's been probably the last 20 years has been the best. So it's so good to know the Lord and to know what He's saved you from and what He's saved you to.
Brought up as a Catholic, but in my early 20s I went along to a home group of all these happy Christian people, and then I found out what it was like to have a personal relationship with the Lord. So that's when I made a personal commitment, and just went on from there.
I hadn't really thought about it. I had seen the community chaplains in the shopping centres, but one worship service with our church, I could feel the presence of the Lord so much, and I felt that His heart was for Him to go outside the walls of our building, outside the walls of every church, and be out in the community. I really got it. And then I didn't really understand how I could do that. But shortly afterwards, I met the community chaplains again in the shopping centre, and they talked with a lady, and she just encouraged me so much that I thought I needed to do the training.
Well, actually, I bumped into some community chaplains in Capalaba Central Shopping Centre, and I got talking to them, and then I found out that you can do an online training course. So that's what I ended up doing, and I got involved that way. Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it's just one day a week that the chaplains are in the particular shopping centres that we've been allowed to go to. So if you did it, it wouldn't be very often. It's 3 hours, one day a week, and usually you're rostered on. So it wouldn't be every week at this point, although I think it would be wonderful if it could be more often. I think I just want people to know the Lord, and so if we are out there and they see something in us that just helps them to see the Lord, to see God, to have an encounter with Him in some way, by us praying for them or encouraging them or just loving them, and if we make connections with them, I think it's going to make a difference in their lives and they're going to come to faith.
In years gone by, I used to share my faith fairly regularly, but I've gotten out of the habit in recent years of doing that, and so I thought chaplaincy would be a good way for me it'll force me to get out and talk to people each week, and so it means that I'm a lot more intentional about meeting new people and talking to them, and then hopefully sharing my faith with them if the conversation goes that way.
I've got a funny story to tell you. I did some drawings that were out of Revelation where there's the word picture of the Father and the Son in the throne room, and it describes them. So I did this drawing not very good at all, and I took it along to show to my little friend who I'm a chappy chum for at the school, because her dad has already encouraged me to teach her about the Lord. He wants her to know about the Lord because that's the way he was brought up. When I showed her, she was just she couldn't stop looking at it, and she wanted to draw it herself. And I just felt like even that drawing, although it was so simple and not very well done, something about it just had God in it. And it just drew that little child into a place where she wanted to know more about God. That just thrills me, that God could use my crummy drawing for that. So the Lifebridge community chaplains have training through Urban Revs Chaplaincy. It's Cam Butler, and he was a coach within the sporting body, within the football bodies in Melbourne. And so he's done this wonderful training full of stories of changed lives and people transformed through chaplaincy. And so I did that course, and then there's another one similar that Graham Circum has done through LifeBridge Chaplaincy. So it's simple to do and very inspiring.
It's very simple and straightforward. It's all on the computer, and it's you just watch these little videos, and then each segment you answer pretty simple little questions, and it's very, very straightforward and quite simple, but quite profound. The teaching, it's quite good, very good. You just do the modules as quickly as you want to, so you could do it in a few weeks if you wanted to, or take a few months. Doesn't really matter. He talks about chaplaincy being you're loitering with intent, as Cam Butler says. So you're hanging around, deliberately hanging around, waiting to talk to people, and so that's the ethos of it, to be there for people as a listening ear.
Mm-hmm. I think if the Lord's saying that to you, say yes, say you'll do it, and do the training, and just expect the Lord to show you where He wants you to be involved. I'm sure He will. When I was doing the training, there was one girl from our church, and she's just visiting an old lady in an aged home. Well, I think she's doing the same thing that I'm doing in the shopping centre for that one lady. That just thrills my heart, and that's what God wants, just for each of us to step out where He's leading us.
Anybody can do it. If the main thing is you need to be a good listener. You have to be able to listen to people, because sometimes they'll talk their heads off at you, and other times they might be hurting or broken in some way. And so the main thing is that you're there for people, and that you're a good listener.